the best way to grow your business is going to talk to people.
Mm-hmm. People are necessary to your business no matter what you do. So networking.
Need it.
Let's figure out how.
Welcome to the Chronicles of Caffeine and Ambition, hosted by the Cinder Sisters. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Megan. And what we are here to do on our podcast is tell you about business, life, families, essentially everything that we do, we want to share with you because we have a lot of self-confidence. We've learned a lot of self-confidence over the years.
We sure have.
And we want to share that with you. We want to show you how.
Let's do this.
Networking is our topic today, and I told you about this topic, so you got to be prepared.
Yes, you did tell me. It doesn't mean I planned for it. You just told me, and I went, that's nice.
I mean, it's apropos, because when are we prepared for our networking things?
Never.
We fly by the seat of our pants frequently.
Yeah, we do. But I enjoy that. But I also enjoy, I think, because I have the gift of gab, it's quite easy to go to networking events because it's just easy to talk to people.
Well, which is why we're talking about it today, because a lot of people find it terrifying.
That's fair. We saw a lot of that at the last networking we were at, which is quite odd because I always find it very funny. Networking is you go and talk to strange people, and that's just what you do. It's the part of it, and that's how you meet new people. You go up and introduce yourself, but watching people who can't but go to the networking events.
Well, because they know it's important.
But you don't speak to anybody, so it defeats the whole purpose of it, and I always feel bad. So I mean, sometimes I'll go up and actually talk to somebody but it's still really awkward. It's almost one-sided conversation, probably because I also talk too much.
But there are a lot of people that seek you out, which is interesting because a part of networking is having an open personality. If you are not open, if you don't look open, or if you don't approach people, they may not approach you.
Good point.
Which makes it harder for other people. So
Right.
There's a certain aspect of how you look visually, how you emote.
Yes.
What your face says.
That's
if you
fair.
have resting bitch face, it will be harder for people to approach you. Not impossible, but harder.
I don't disagree with that, yeah.
Which means that then you have to do the work.
Correct.
Since nobody will come up to you.
Yeah.
You are approached constantly.
All the time.
All the time.
It's been like that forever, though. Everybody loves it. I know everybody's life story. It's awesome. I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, most of the time. But there's after a bit, sometimes like the last networking we did, I was done peopling. I got home and I said to my husband, I'm like, I'm good for a few days. I don't want to see people. It's a lot of peopling. But yeah, I've always been able to everybody tells me their life story. It's great. I love it.
Well, and so, okay, the last networking event that we went to was 2-3 days ago.
Correct.
Like 200 to 300 people.
Yeah.
It was huge. It was an industry event, so wedding industry networking event. And we haven't seen a lot of these people in a really long time.
Yeah.
What were the biggest takeaways? Like you said, some people are still really uncomfortable, so we saw a lot of that.
Yeah.
Not everyone in our industry does a lot of networking. We talk on social media, which is a part of networking, and
Correct.
I'll get into that later. But we saw a lot of people that were really uncomfortable with the idea of going outside their comfort zone. But what else did we see? Like, what were some of the good aspects that you saw people doing?
I love when you're with somebody who doesn't know the other people and they're like, this is so-and-so. They work in this part of the industry, or not even the industry at all. They work in something else, or this is just my friend. And that's a great segue into being like, oh, you do this. And so you're meeting somebody else. So that's always great if you go with someone, or if you don't. Like if you're dressed well, and I don't mean well, like you have to be suit and tie. I mean, if you're dressed and people will often comment on your clothes, which I think is kind of important because that's just an easy thing for somebody to be like, I love your shirt. And then that starts a whole conversation. Oh, I got it from wherever. And it starts something completely different. Then you'll find out you have things in common. So I think that could be a really important thing when you're networking.
It was one of the things that I used with a woman that I knew. I knew her face, but there's so many times, like you go to the networking events typically together.
Yes.
But everyone knows you. Not everyone knows me. I don't go to the photo shoots or necessarily the weddings.
Right.
So I'm not as known and I don't know them necessarily. I might know their face. So exactly that. I knew that I knew her, but we've never met.
Right.
So that's exactly what I did. We were walking past and I was like, your earrings are fantastic. Because they were these massive flowers and they were great. And that started a whole conversation about where she got them. And then she chose between these ones or these ones. And she could have gone with these ones. But I love these. Yeah, I was like, I'm super happy to hear about this.
Yeah.
I would say that is one of the hardest parts for people. To know what to talk about. Because if you don't know someone, where do you start? Like, clothes are easy.
Yeah.
Outward appearance is easy. But if you want some kind of deeper, like that conversation was good. We were both happy, like talked for a couple minutes, but it didn't go much further. So the superficial pieces that you can start with are extremely simple, but also not deep. So the conversation ends. And then where do you go?
So you need like a conversation spark almost. And I think it was Vanessa Van Edwards, is that right?
Yeah.
Who talks about spark. And if you have not read her books, you need to read her books. I don't care if you're an introvert, an extrovert, whatever. Books are great.
Yeah. It's like the science of people. They're absolutely incredible.
So it's a spark in the conversation, which ignites something to go on to the next conversation.
Which can be used with the second person. Like you said, when there's somebody with you, and instead of saying, this is my friend John,
right,
and he works in finance. He's 6'5" with blue eyes.
That's it, pretty much. I mean, if you started that as a conversation, I would run with that. I would love that. But that's just, we've done that. I've done this for so long that it's just an easy thing to do. But that would be a hilarious thing.
But the funny thing about it is that it was a poor example in one way because it's topical, but only if you're on TikTok. So if you use that as your spark, it would be a phenomenal spark with certain people.
Right, the right people.
If
who would
they're
understand
on that algorithm on TikTok and they've seen that video. Especially if he doesn't have blue eyes. No, but it's something interesting about that person. As opposed to like, this is my friend John, he works in finance. And then it's very cut and dry. It's done.
And then the other person's, that's nice.
That's nice.
Nice.
I'm Megan. I work in wedding gowns. And that's like, it's a stop. You need like a meat to something interesting to keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Or especially if you know both people, if you can say, this is my friend John, he used to work with horses and like a long time ago in his previous careers. And I know that you love horses. This is Stacy. She works in weddings, but she loves horses too. Like, it's completely unrelated to your work life.
Correct.
But it's something that you could then spark together as a common interest and continue that conversation.
Exactly. And people love that. People love that when things are completely different. Like, you don't have to talk about what you're doing now because maybe another conversation will lead into that, especially if you're trying to meet people and deal with other businesses. Having common ground, not just on that business, but something else is really important because people like to do business with people that they like. Yeah. And that's why networking is also crazy important because it's hard if you're through a computer screen, not just a computer screen, but if you like send an email and be like, hi, I'm so-and-so and this is what I do. Most people are like, delete. You meet those people and you make a connection. Most of the time you will end up working together.
Yep. Especially if you're memorable, which is where it comes into like visual can be memorable. What you wear, how you dress, how you present yourself can be extremely memorable. Yeah. The way that you talk or the way that you introduce people makes you memorable as well because that it's like, oh, they really know me. Yeah. They know about me. They know things well enough to introduce me to other people. Those are two incredibly important aspects to being remembered. And the other thing is how you speak. So learning how to talk to other people, learning what to say, not to say things that put your foot in your mouth.
Totally.
It's difficult.
And you're going to run into these things. Like you'll go to your first few networking things and you will do that. Like, but I don't think it would be a problem if somebody said, I am so nervous. I'm sorry. This is my first time doing a networking event. And so I'm really nervous. And no one is going to go, oh, okay, bye. No one's going to leave you.
That's unfair. Some people might.
Then that's not your people.
That's not your person, and you've chosen the wrong person to approach. So do it again.
Yes,
because this is where the confidence portion comes in. You have those people. You were there to network with them. If they're not willing to network with you, then they're not the people that you want to talk to. You are there to network with people. If they're gonna blow you off or shun you, that's not who you want to talk to. You're not going to get anywhere with them, even if you tried.
Agree.
So try again.
Yeah,
it's putting your pride aside, and if somebody says something rude, inappropriate, something that's not helpful.
That tells you who they are.
That tells you who they are, and I think, wow,
and
that sucked. Yeah. But again,
they do it again because then the more you do it, the least problematic it is. The least you just after a bit, you're like, oh well, next.
Whew, that was weird.
Yeah. Okay. We've done that many times where we walk away from conversation and be
like, did you hear this? That just me. No,
that was me.
Okay. And then we move on to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not to say that, like, I put my foot in my mouth. If of anything, like, we
all do. I can't say Meg just does. We all do.
Well, no, and if anybody, we're always like, I'm good with words. I'm good with emails. Like, oh, I love words. Words is what I do.
This is true.
I put my foot in my mouth frequently. If I haven't slept, if I'm just off, like
it's fun for me to watch Meg from afar when we go to networks and she hasn't slept for a few days. the kids have been like jerks and it's been busy. It's fun to just watch her from afar because I'm like, oh, here we go.
Because you can picture that the brain's not firing quickly. Like you can see I'm trying, but I'm struggling. I'm still gonna do it.
That's like a rolling disaster. It's awesome.
So there are definitely going to be times where you will put your foot in your mouth.
Yeah.
If it's real bad, apologize immediately. That's it. That's all you can do.
Story. Yeah.
And if it's not that bad, then most people probably won't remember. If you just said something stupid or called them by the wrong name, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's that my bad. Like it happens.
It happens.
Yeah. The hardest time that I have, especially like if we're talking about the networking we just did a couple days ago, I have a hard time relating a person. I know your face and I'll know your name if you say it.
Yeah.
But I have a really hard time relating to what piece of the industry you're in. Are you a photographer? Are you a planner? Are you hair and makeup? And I still get them confused because to me it's 3 separate pieces of information. Your name, your business name, and your specific aspect.
That's often I'll say. We're going to change that time of year.
This is half of the reason why sometimes my networking doesn't go well and I put my foot in my mouth, because sometimes I can't differentiate between French and English in my head, and I can't just randomly say French words.
We could. I think people might appreciate that. Or it might be start another conversation of, oh, you speak French. And they're like, no, my husband is, and all my kids are French. Yeah.
I don't actually speak that well in French, but sometimes my brain says otherwise. I can't remember the English word anymore. And I have no problem with people thinking I'm strange. So it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It's a memorable thing.
Yeah.
And I will say, you said this, after that evening, what we heard most from people are how authentic we are, and how, well, I mean, it's not funny, not the word funny was used, but it's that openness. I am not bothered by saying, I don't want to sound stupid. I never do. And I feel like I'm smart enough to not sound stupid. But I am not bothered if I trip my words, say something wrong, stumble, blah, 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 like that kind of thing. I'm not bothered by it. And I think that plays a lot into it. It happens. We're human. We're not robots. We're not perfect. No. So when it happens, I'm just like, oh, move on.
Right. Makes everybody else more comfortable who's speaking to you, who watches us, we got a decent amount of comments on the podcast, which was really nice. Thank you everybody for watching.
Yes, thank you.
But it was, I think, just because we're us and unapologetically us. And we are messy because we are human.
We've said it how long have we said it? 10 years now? We are who we are because we are incapable of being someone else.
Yeah, I don't know.
Other than the personalities we have, like our home personality, our work personality, our phone voice, that sure, it's necessary, but we're not good at being someone that we're not.
No, that's true.
Which is nice for other people.
Exactly. Yeah, not getting anything different.
Unless they don't like that. Then if they don't like us, then that's too bad.
That's too bad.
That's too bad for you. Because
look at what you're missing out on.
Look at what you're missing. We're hilarious. Okay, so all of that, I would sum back up into confidence. Because it took us how long to get to this point where we are okay with who we are?
Okay, yes, okay, fair. Confidence, I think, but also just the drive, the push, the stubbornness to not give up after the first few stumbling blocks. Yeah.
So visual aspects. Make yourself obviously approachable.
Yeah.
Visually or through facial expressions, emotions, how you speak, that kind of thing. Learn about people, know about people, have conversations with them, and remember aspects about them so that you can introduce them to somebody else. Because that is an incredibly easy conversation spark. It's an incredibly easy way to introduce two people who could work together, and then you introducing those people can create more for you. Yeah. Because they'll both then spread the word that you help. Confidence, being okay with who you are and what comes out of your mouth.
Because the easier that is for you to just be yourself, the more people will gravitate to you who are similar to you or who will work well with you. Because it's going to be really difficult to work with somebody, or just be friends with somebody who's your complete opposite or somebody that you dislike. Like, that's just crazy. Why on earth would we do that?
It'll be hard.
Yeah.
It's possible. And there are times. There's times. Sometimes if an area that you want to get into has people in it that you don't like, that's normal.
Right.
It's normal to have, I tell the kids all the time, there will be teachers you don't like.
Fair.
Along the way. There'll be people that you work with that you don't like, which is not our problem because our people are amazing.
Agree.
But there could be.
Yeah.
My husband works for the government, and that I guarantee you that that's a problem.
Yes.
There will be times where that happens. So, I mean, if you have to work with somebody because you feel like it'll get you somewhere or they're in an area where you need to be, there'll be other great people in that area. So I wouldn't never work with someone that I don't like, but it's a grain of salt, I suppose.
Fair.
One thing that we haven't touched on is how important social media, well, I suppose how important social media is in all of this, but also how it relates to networking. Because social media is a networking channel. A lot of people look at it as entertainment, and it is. I'm not saying that it isn't, but social media is your front face when you can't be in front of people in person.
Yeah, fair.
So the importance of being you on social media, having the confidence on social media, being able to say that like it's all the same line items that I'm going through. You have to use all of those on social media as well. I remember the first videos that we made, same way we put our foot in our mouth more frequently when we talked to people in the beginning in person. Social media was difficult.
I mean, we didn't take selfies. I mean, you know how we are. We grew up in an age where there wasn't cell phones and there wasn't computers and there was all that stuff. So even when we started down this journey of having to get social media, it was I don't want to be the face of the business. Meg's like, well, you are.
Good luck with that. You're in front of the camera.
So the first while of all the videos were awkward, terrible angles, terrible, just everything. You just made so many mistakes. But then now it's just normal. I might as well just have a camera attached to my face and I talk to it all the time. And it's literally, it just doesn't bother me anymore. People, I mean.
One, there's so many other people doing it.
Yeah.
And two, it's a part of your business. If you want to grow, if you want to get bigger, if you want to reach more people, if you want to help more,
correct.
Whatever you're trying to get to, it's necessary.
Yeah.
That's where everyone is.
There's no newspapers anymore. There's no, I mean, TV, sure, but I mean, most people are not that large that TV ads would be necessary or available. So the way you found now is social media. That's what everybody goes to.
Well, and how, like, if you're introducing people or all the people that we met the other night, half of the reason probably that I would know their face or their name or their business name is because of social media.
Correct.
And we've worked with them. So I know that our photo shoots had them involved. So I'll remember one of those aspects, but I won't be able to connect them because I've never met them in person.
Right.
But that starting point is incredibly necessary. Like, it started on social media.
That's
so
true.
I know of you.
Sure.
I can start a conversation with you because I know of you or I know your business name or your name. So social media is like a starting point.
That's fair.
It's a first connection.
Yeah, exactly. And you want it to be able to run all the way through who you are on social media. That's who the person wants to meet when they get to wherever, if you're networking, you actually meet them in person, it should be the same person.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be, I mean, especially even like the ones where you see where it's somebody's picture, but it's like 10 years ago and, you know, and then you meet them in person and you're like, wow, you don't look anything like what I thought you would. Like, it
has to be a fair representation of who you are at this moment and what you stand for.
Correct.
Because that's what connects you to people.
Correct.
I'm going to segue into robotics, which is not going to help for a second. There's a thing called the uncanny valley in robotics.
Okay.
So if it's a difference between a robot looking like a robot or a robot looking like a person.
Okay.
And same kind of thing. If it's wrong, it'll set us off. It's the visual aspect of it is wrong.
Right.
So it's in the same as a social media platform. If I'm looking at your page and I see your face and I see what you stand for and then I meet you in person and I'm like, what? Like, it's a disconnect.
Correct.
It's a jolt.
Right.
And we don't realize that those happen, but it messes with our brain and it sticks with us. So one of the easiest ways to mess up your networking capabilities is to have a disconnect.
Okay.
You have to be consistent.
Complete sense.
There's my robotics talk.
Thanks, Meg.
Welcome to my TED Talk.
Welcome to Working with Your Sister. Random fact number 5.
We spoke really quickly about Vanessa Van Edwards and her books and largely recommend.
Okay, so the one that we've definitely, there's Q's, and what was the other one?
Oh, I don't remember the name of it.
Me neither.
We'll write it in the description when we find it, but yeah, I mean, you can find her. Her books are on Amazon.
Absolutely,
Her videos are on. I saw a video the other day on TikTok of Mel Robbins interviewing Vanessa Van Edwards about this specifically. And I'll share that tip too, because we're talking about networking and it was about networking because most of what she talks about has to do with networking and growing your capabilities in that way. But her point was, like, the specific question that Mel Robbins asked her was, if you're uncomfortable with networking, how do you become more comfortable, or what is the biggest tip that you can give someone that will make their networking more comfortable right from the start? So it was where to stand. So she said the thing that she finds is the hardest for people is to understand where to stand in a networking situation.
Okay.
If you're uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, you're going to wander, you know people, you can make connections easily.
Fair.
But if you're uncomfortable, where you stand makes a huge difference. And this is what she was saying. If you're uncomfortable, you're most likely to stand right inside the front entrance.
Yes.
Because you come in, you don't want to push into the entire event.
Right.
You feel safe by the door.
Correct.
You could run.
Yes. Yeah.
You
That's
needed to.
yeah. I get it. Yeah.
But that is by far one of the worst places to stand because everyone's coming in. One, it causes a logistical roadblock if everyone stood at the front entrance and spoke to each other.
Yeah.
But the second was that people are not ready to talk yet because
When they come in. Right.
Yeah, so you're standing there hoping for a conversation with somebody who just entered, but they are not ready to talk to you.
Yeah.
So what it came down to was that the best place to stand was beside the bar or a drink stand of some sort. Because when she watches patterns, that's what she does. She analyzes networking events and watches the patterns of people. So they would come in, by the time they're settled, they've stood in line for the drink, they've got their drink, they turn around and she's like, you could visibly see, now I'm ready to talk to somebody.
Yes.
So if you're standing right there, then you save them. Because they turn around and they're ready.
And because they're doing the same thing as you, where they're like, I need to go find somebody to talk to now. Okay, so I have a drink in my hand, which makes me feel safe because I'm holding something.
Yeah.
I mean, the other woman generally carrying a purse. So you feel like, okay, I'm good, I'm doing things, but
now I'm ready. And if you, as the person who's uncomfortable in a networking situation, is the person standing there beside the drink counter, and you say, hey, that's a beautiful scarf you're wearing, you've just saved them the awkwardness of trying to go find someone else to talk to.
Correct.
So I'm not saying this will work 100% of the time, but as the biggest tip, she's one of my favorite people ever.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
Yeah, and I love her backstory, and I love what she does, and I love how passionate she is about what she does.
Yeah.
So greatly recommend.
Agree.
Yeah, find her books. They're incredible. Or watch her videos if you're not a reader. So what are our tips?
Be open. Because that's the whole reason why you're there. That's the reason why everybody's there, is to talk to each other. Make conversations. Dress for it. I'm a big advocate, though, for dressing properly. Like, just in any sense. I mean, I don't leave my house with my BJs on. Ever. I don't generally leave my house without putting earrings on. But that's me as a person. But I think it's really important. I feel better, always, when I go out and I'm dressed. When I'm dressed for the network, it's even easier and better. It also puts where your business, or whatever it is you're trying to do, shows how you feel about it. Does that make sense?
It makes it feel like you're invested.
Yeah.
Because you are a physical representation of your business.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I love my business. I love what I do, and I believe in it.
Yeah.
And this is my physical representation of that.
For us, if you think about, we're in the wedding industry. So if you think about, if I cannot dress myself, then how are our brides, let's say we're not working with our brides, how are our brides going to believe that we can dress them if we can't dress ourselves? It's definitely a disconnect right there for what we do.
Confidence in yourself.
Yeah. And then don't be afraid to have somebody rush you off. Just go do it.
Try not to take it personally, I think would be
You also don't know what's going on in that other person's life. Like, we don't know that 2 minutes earlier they didn't get a phone call about something that happened and it's upsetting, and then they're completely off as a day. You don't know. So that's why I always think of when somebody is just not right or upset or angry, whatever have you. We don't know what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
Brush it off. It's not you.
It very, very likely has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with the conversation you're having or you wanting to approach them.
Totally.
It's entirely having to do with them.
Yep.
So taking it personally doesn't get you anywhere.
No. Next person. Network in things that are not just in your field.
That's a good point.
Go to different things. Go something. I mean, maybe something that's interesting to you. Go, I don't know. It depends on what you're doing. We would go to an opening of a coffee shop or something. Yeah. There's, like when something opens up in the town that we're in, we go see them. We go talk to them. They're not at all in what we do, but they work well for us because at the moment, if your coffee shop's great, if we like you, if everything's great, well, then we're going to send our brides there and be like, while they're waiting for something else, go have a coffee down here. I think that's really important.
Or when they finish their appointment, then we have somewhere to send them that we can say, we've been there, they were great, please go see them, have a great coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's important. And just having other business owners that are not in the same field as you, I think is really important as well. Knowing other people.
If you're in business in general, you have your business and you have your area of expertise, and you should know people who are also in that same area, but you have to know other business owners are still other business owners. So you are all in business.
Yeah.
Whether it's mechanics or woodworking or bridal, we're all business owners.
Agreed.
We can all come to terms on something. We can all talk about business and stuff. We could all complain about the government, I'm sure.
Yes, we can.
There's always something that can bring you together. Doesn't matter if in the same industry.
Yeah.
Try it.
Do it. I remembered what it was. Tell me about who else you would recommend as a book or even a podcast or anything else for networking. I mean, we recommended Vanessa Van, and it was just because the social cues are actually crazy important. Like, there's so many things we didn't touch on in her books. But who would you recommend? And because maybe there's stuff that we haven't seen and people we haven't listened to. So that's what I want to know.
And we still do it. Like, we've been doing this for a very, very long time, and we've been working on our confidence for a very, very long time. But we just read her within the last year.
Yeah.
So absolutely, I would love to know other podcasts or other books that you would recommend. Comment below.
Thanks for listening.